Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News, and we've been following this story of the new host of The Bachelorette being Jesse Palmer. He announced it after the final rose, or whatever the heck you want to call that, ending of Clayton's season. Of course, he was sort of a test run, never confirmed. Kaitlyn and Tayshia didn't find out until it was announced live. You ever been fired and you get to see the reaction on live TV? Not good. And then a source says, which I'm going to share in this video, that they knew beforehand. So is that the producers trying to save face? This is going to be a big problem. This is kind of like a gender-based labor dispute going on. And I think the audience may be entitled to know how much Kaitlyn and Tayshia were paid versus what Jesse Palmer is being paid. You know very well that they're going to tell Jesse Palmer to keep his lips sealed, because he does have lips of an angel. But what, will we ever find out that there was a pay difference? We'll have to see. As we know, Kaitlyn is whined out here. You got to be whined out. You got to be whined out when a situation like this happens because, in good, fair play, they drop what they were doing to become host, and then apologists will say, well, they got exposure. Well, they take some exposure right here, all right? Exposure doesn't pay for groceries, all right? Anyway, so let's get into it. She talks about this on her podcast with Cassie Randolph. Now, I've got a separate video coming right after this where Cassie Randolph speaks for the first time, breaking news, folks, for the first time about her breakup with Colton Underwood. We'll get into all of that, and that'll be in the next video. But stick around, subscribe, all that jazz. Let's just hear what Kaitlyn has to say off the bat about finding out she is not going to be on hosting The Bachelorette.
I'm really excited for you guys to actually hear from Cassie, and she's got a lot to say, and I love her. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of questions whether or not I'm being on the next Bachelorette season, so I thought I would just quickly touch base on it. I saw at the end of the finale, he was announcing the 2 Bachelorettes, and he said he was going to be by their side for that. So I guess, spoiler alert, I'm not coming back. I think Jesse's amazing. He'll be a great host, and I hope he helps Gabby and Rachel in any way that he can. It's been a wild year, and I don't know, I'm coming off filming 2 Bachelorette seasons, my live podcast tour, and now ending the Dancing with the Stars tour. I want to support Gabby and Rachel and be there for them so bad. I think it makes sense to have a woman being there for them, but I also do want to prioritize being at home with Jason and the boys and start planning my wedding and catch up on my businesses. So #blessing in disguise, I guess. There's a lot of exciting things coming up in the next few months, and it all just feels very overwhelming, but I guess it's that saying, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at once.
Wow.
I will be sad, though. I want to be there to support them, but that's the update.
Wow. Clean your ears and listen to that one more time. That is how you maintain grace in a tough situation. She's saying, look, I'm blessed. I got these other things going on, but at the same time, I found out when you did. And would you like it in your job to find out at that time that something's not getting, picked up, that you're not going to have your livelihood continue in that direction? So sure, blessing in disguise. She gets to plan her wedding, all those things. But you know what? As far as the Bachelors deciding whether or not they were going to tell her in advance, wrong flipping answer if you ask me. All right, I've been recording this episode actually live on patreon.com, and I do this fun thing where I ask people to submit phrases right there, and then I take the phrases and I try to read them back to you guys within the show. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But if anyone ever wonders why we're saying things like that are interesting and irreverent, now you know, because we're having fun over here while we provide content. Patreon.com/Dave Neal, 220 members, and Patreon is good because it helps me grow my channel, and I don't need a boss like ABC Bachelor producers telling me when I will not be working. So it's always good to build equity in what you do, and Kaitlyn is obviously doing that. She's obviously doing that, but rough. We made this video, I think on Friday. They didn't want to pay us. They didn't want to pay us the amount that a host should get. That's why they called them guests. And now I defended Bachelor producers for Katie season. They came in last minute. They didn't know what to call them. Chris Harrison wasn't exactly fired yet. Come Michelle's season, Chris is fired. They're hosts. They're hosting the show. They're introing, they're outroing, they're handing the rose. They're doing the host duties. We see this a lot with gender discrimination with regards to pay. Is a lot of times they'll hide different pay behind different job titles, even though what you're doing is more important than the job title you have. So don't need to get into all of it. But, obviously people like Tayshia were upset. And again, I've said all along, the fact that Tayshia wasn't at the after the final rose, whether it was through bargaining gone wrong or whether it was through the fact that the producers were like, all right, Kaitlyn can handle this. The producers, they've got a hit TV show, and that is as safe as it's going to get for them. So they want to minimize risk as much as possible. When they knew Kaitlyn could do the job, they probably told Tayshia, hey, you're going through the breakup with Zach. We already got you walking off. We already commodified your relationship. We don't need that drama. And if you don't believe that they want safety, watch what I'm about to read to you guys, all right? So we'll get into all of this. And look, I mean, I don't know. Am I the only one covering this? Am I the only, person out here that's covering this story? I guess that you would say I am the ultimate Viking for even going there. But, not to get you horny. Get that joke, folks? All right, there we go. Going a different direction, Kaitlyn and Tayshia were part of the conversation about who would host the new Bachelorette season ahead of Jesse Palmer's announcement, a source exclusively tells Us Weekly. Kaitlyn and Tayshia had a little bit of a heads up. Okay, this is where it gets into semantics. A little bit of a heads up, like would you tell her at the commercial break? The insider says, noting that the women did not learn about them not returning as co-hosts on the live Bachelor finale. All right, so we have a he said, she said out here, and this really grinds my granola when we don't know who's telling the truth, Kaitlyn or the unknown source. Palmer, pump your palms, took some viewers by surprise when he confirmed during Tuesday's season 26 Bachelor finale that he would be running the show when co-bachelorettes Rachel Recchia, see if she can Recchia some hearts, and Gabby Windy, see if she can windy up some love. Start season 19. Jeez. Please unsubscribe now. I'm kidding. Don't. The choice not to have Bristowe and Adams return as co-hosts wasn't a surprise, they say. The Off the Vine podcast host, which is Kaitlyn, and the California native, which is Tayshia, were told about the personnel change prior to the announcement, per the insider, who adds that the former bachelorettes are rooting for Gabby and Rachel from afar. The former ABC personalities who searched for love on season 11 and season 16, respectfully, of The Bachelorette co-hosted both Katie Thurston and Michelle Young's season. Palmer, pumping it for his part, stepped in as host for season 26 of The Bachelor after Chris Harrison exited the franchise following season 25 after receiving backlash for his support of Rachel Kirkconnell, who was accused of being racially insensitive in the past. Of course, having about a year to review this, it was rough. It was almost like Chris Harrison was leading the front lines of what the producer's narrative was, not realizing he didn't have a shield, and he took the brunt of the blow trying to protect the company, which just goes to show the company always wins. They use you, and if you think your job is safe, out there, look at Chris Harrison. I thought he was a producer on the show. I thought he was part of the owners of the show. I didn't think he could be fired. My point being, you think you love your job. If you want ultimate security, build that email list, build that TikTok following, build whatever you can for yourself, because in the end, employers don't care about you. The decision came at some point throughout the past season that Jesse was a safe choice. Did I already say this part? They maintain a cordial relationship. The bridge is not burned, says the insider. Well, tell that to Tayshia's face. She's been exploring a lot of different avenues and meeting with different people in the industry. She's looking to continue expanding her career outside of Bachelor Nation, which is what everyone should do. Everyone should try to expand their career outside of Bachelor Nation, because honestly, if your whole career is built on Bachelor Nation, you're just a hemorrhoid on the reality TV world. You really are. There isn't much else. I mean, not to say I'm not in that situation myself, but I would like more job security than just making my career based on a TV show that may or may not get canceled within a year, right? Looking at you, Bachelor in Paradise. Either way, follow me on Instagram at @DNeals. The Dance with the Stars winner has been more outspoken on the topic because Tayshia's just not outspoken about anything. That's just the way she is. But by the way, Tayshia, slide into our DMs if you want. The only resentment that seems to come out of this is their titles and contract, alleging that it all comes down to pay. Oh, can you imagine that? I don't see what the big deal is. These broads over here are complaining about their pay. You know what I mean? Yeah, pay is a big deal. Dude, they'd be perfectly fine if it wasn't for that measly pay they've been yapping about. Despite having a few bumps along the way, the decision to name Palmer as the solo host for season 19 of The Bachelorette is best for everyone, except for Tayshia and Kaitlyn. The source adds, the feeling all around is more neutral. Everyone seems to be happy with where things stand. Did I miss something? There was a part there where he said they felt safer with him as the host. I don't know. She's looking to expand her career. Doors aren't closed for good. I read at the top, this Jesse was a safe choice for the next Bachelorette season. They're still testing him out for a more permanent role. All right. Okay. Anyway, you guys are great. Everyone in the comment section of the Patreon is amazing. You guys are gonna get me to lose my job with all the recommendations they're sending my way. But by the way, speaking of recommendations, my fiance Tasha just released a Instagram reel from our doesn't she look cute, from our trip to Vegas. I had a stand-up show there. I don't think I can play the audio of it, but this is where we stayed. If you guys want to check out a little bit of the behind the scenes of our traveling and everything that's out there, Tasha's been posting most of that. The best thing you can do, did you see that? I actually won $100. I won $180 on slots. Don't ask what I spent. And we went to a cool show and got pizza late at night and then had a ton of fun. So if you want to, the best thing you can do to support us outside of watching the channel is to follow Tasha and, leave a comment. Of course, Angel, always good at leaving comments. A+ to Angel there. Hearts go to you for always being there. But if you want to go support us outside of the app, Instagram over there at Tasha Courtney. So thank you to everyone that's been supporting. And more content coming your way. The Cassie video is up next right after this. We'll catch you on the flip side. Dave, Neal out. Bye, guys.